The requirement to run a number 10 grounding jumper from each point of gas service entry to the closest subpanel is logical. This jumper provides a low resistance path for ground fault currents to flow back to the electrical source, preventing harm to occupants or damage to equipment. The equipment grounding conductor, or EG, of the circuit that energizes the gas-fired equipment, such as water heaters and fireplaces, is used to create a conductive path between the equipment and the electrical system ground. This ensures that any fault current that may occur through the gas piping system is directed to the electrical system ground and cleared by the overcurrent protective devices. To achieve this, a jumper is connected from the gas pipe to the EGC of the outlet supplying the equipment. The EGC then carries the fault current to the panel board, where it is detected by the circuit breaker or fuse and interrupted. Bonding at each fireplace or just one per gas service depends on the gas piping system configuration and local code requirements. If each fireplace has its own separate gas pipe run from the point of service entry, then each fireplace should be bonded individually to the EGC of its respective outlets. If multiple fireplaces share a common gas pipe, then bonding should be done at the point where the gas service enters the building. This ensures that all gas piping within the building is bonded to the electrical system ground. In the case of 12 separate units, each with its own gas piping system, bonding should be done at each unit's point of service entry. Let's delve deeper into the reasons behind these requirements and the specific applications. Grounding and bonding are critical safety measures in electrical systems, particularly when dealing with gas piping. Gas piping systems, while not inherently electrical conductors, can become energized due to various fault conditions. These fault conditions can include insulation breakdown in electrical equipment, lightning strikes, or accidental contact between electrical conductors and the gas piping. When a gas pipe becomes energized, it presents a significant shock hazard to anyone who comes into contact with it. Furthermore, it can create a potential fire hazard if the fault current is high enough to ignite flammable materials in the vicinity. The purpose of grounding and bonding is to minimize these hazards by providing a low impedance path for fault currents to flow back to the source, thereby tripping the overcurrent protective devices such as circuit breakers or fuses and energizing the circuit. The number 10 grounding jumper requirement is a specific code requirement designed to ensure that gas piping systems are adequately grounded. The size of the grounding conductor is crucial because it determines the conductor's ability to carry fault current without overheating or creating a voltage drop. A number 10 copper conductor is typically considered sufficient for most residential and small commercial gas piping systems. However, it is essential to consult the relevant electrical codes and local amendments to ensure compliance with the specific requirements in your area. The grounding jumper should be connected from each point of gas service entry to the closest subpanel. This means that if a building has multiple gas service entrances, each entrance must have its own dedicated grounding jumper. The reason for this is to ensure that all sections of the gas piping system are effectively grounded, regardless of their proximity to the main electrical service. Connecting the grounding jumper to the closest subpanel helps to minimize the impedance of the grounding path. The shorter the grounding path, the lower the impedance, and the more effectively the fault current will be conducted back to the source. This is crucial for ensuring that the overcurrent protective devices operate quickly and reliably. The equipment grounding conductor, EG, plays a vital role in the overall grounding and bonding system. The EGC is the conductive path that connects the non-current carrying metal parts of electrical equipment to the electrical system ground. This includes equipment such as water heaters, furnaces, and fireplaces that are connected to the gas piping system. The purpose of the EGC is to provide a low impedance path for fault currents to flow back to the source in the event of a fault within the equipment. This helps to protect people from electric shock and prevent damage to equipment. In the case of gas-fired equipment, the EGC is typically connected to the metal chassis or frame of the equipment and then to the grounding terminal of the electrical outlet that supplies power to the equipment. This creates a continuous conductive path from the equipment through the EGC to the panel board and back to the source. When a fault occurs within the equipment, the fault current flows through this path, tripping the circuit breaker or fuse into energizing the circuit. A jumper is used to connect the gas pipe to the EGC of the outlet supplying the equipment. This jumper is typically a short length of copper wire that is securely connected to both the gas pipe and the grounding terminal of the outlet. The purpose of this jumper is to ensure that the gas pipe is effectively bonded to the electrical system ground. By bonding the gas pipe to the EGC, any fault current that may occur through the gas piping system is directed to the electrical system ground and cleared by the overcurrent protective devices. This helps to prevent the gas pipe from becoming energized and creating a shock hazard. The specific requirements for bonding gas piping systems can vary depending on the local electrical codes and the configuration of the gas piping system. In general, the code requires that all metal gas piping systems be bonded to the electrical system ground. This includes gas pipes that are located inside buildings, as well as those that are located outside. The bonding connection should be made as close as practical to the point where the gas service enters the building. This helps to minimize the impedance of the bonding path and ensure that the gas piping system is effectively grounded. In some cases, it may be necessary to bond the gas piping system at multiple locations. This is particularly true for large or complex gas piping systems. The decision of whether to bond at each fireplace or just one per gas service depends on the specific configuration of the gas piping system. If each fireplace has its own separate gas pipe run from the point of service entry, then each fireplace should be bonded individually to the EGC of its respective outlet. This ensures that each fireplace is effectively grounded and that any fault current is quickly cleared. If multiple fireplaces share a common gas pipe, then bonding should be done at the point where the gas service enters the building. This ensures that all gas piping within the building is bonded to the electrical system ground. In the case of 12 separate units, each with its own gas piping system, bonding should be done at each unit's point of service entry. This ensures that each unit is effectively grounded and that any fault current is quickly cleared. It is important to note that the specific requirements for grounding and bonding gas piping systems can vary depending on the local electrical codes and regulations. It is always best to consult with a qualified electrician or electrical inspector to ensure that your gas piping system is properly grounded and bonded. Here's a more detailed breakdown of the key aspects. Firstly, grounding jumper size and material. The National Electrical Code, NEC, typically dictates the minimum size of the grounding jumper based on the size of the service entrance conductors. While a number 10 copper conductor is often sufficient, it's crucial to consult NEC Table 250.66 to determine the appropriate size for your specific installation. The grounding jumper should be made of copper or another approved conductive material. Secondly, grounding electrode conductor connection. The grounding electrode conductor, which connects gas piping to the grounding electrode system, must be connected to a suitable grounding electrode. This could be a ground rod, a metal water pipe, or the building's grounding electrode system. The connection must be made in a manner that ensures a permanent and reliable electrical connection. Thirdly, equipment grounding conductor pathway. The EGC must provide a continuous and uninterrupted path back to the source. This means that all connections must be tight and secure, and the EGC must not be spliced or interrupted. The EGC should be run with the circuit conductors to ensure that it is in close proximity to the current carrying conductors. Fourthly, bonding jumper installation. When installing bonding jumpers, it is important to ensure that the connections are made to clean, bare metal surfaces. This can be achieved by removing any paint, rust, or other non-conductive coatings from the surfaces before making the connection. The bonding jumper should be securely fastened to the gas pipe and the electrical equipment using appropriate connectors. Fifthly, multiple gas service entries. For buildings with multiple gas service entries, it is essential to ground each entry point separately. This is because the gas piping system may not be continuous throughout the building, and each section of pipe may need to be grounded independently to ensure adequate protection. Sixthly, common gas pipe for multiple fireplaces. If multiple fireplaces share a common gas pipe, the bonding should be done at the point where the gas service enters the building. This ensures that all gas piping within the building is bonded to the electrical system ground. Seventhly, separate units with individual gas systems. In the case of multiple separate units, each with its own gas piping system. Bonding should be done at each unit's point of service entry. This ensures that each unit is effectively grounded and that any fault current is quickly cleared. 8th, protection of grounding and bonding connections. The grounding and bonding connections should be protected from physical damage and corrosion. This can be achieved by using appropriate enclosures and connectors that are designed for outdoor use. The connections should also be inspected regularly to ensure that they are in good condition and that they are providing a reliable electrical connection. 9th, coordination with other trades. It is important to coordinate the grounding and bonding of gas piping systems with other trades such as plumbers and HVAC contractors. This ensures that all systems are properly grounded and bonded and that there are no conflicts between the different trades. 10th, local codes and regulations. The specific requirements for grounding and bonding gas piping systems can vary depending on the local electrical codes and regulations. It is always best to consult with a qualified electrician or electrical inspector to ensure that your gas piping system is properly grounded and bonded. The importance of proper grounding and bonding cannot be overstated. It is a critical safety measure that protects people from electric shock and prevents damage to equipment. By following the guidelines outlined in this discussion and consulting with qualified professionals, you can ensure that your gas piping system is properly grounded and bonded and that you are providing a safe and reliable electrical system.